All right. Good afternoon, Olivia. This is episode 84, 82, and we have another musical artist on, Olivia Street of King of Foxes, right? There, you have 2 records out
That's
as of
right.
now. Yeah, that's right. And they're a Canadian band. And yeah, what else, Olivia? Tell us a little more.
Thanks so much for having me on. It's great to spend time with someone that's not in my immediate family. You know, we've been pretty low the past few months, so it's always nice to meet somebody new.
Pleasure. Yeah.
Yeah, we're so King of Foxes is my music project. We're based in Edmonton in Canada, and like you said, we've done 2 records, and I'm kind of writing a third right now. So we've had a lot of concentrated time at home to be creative, and that's been definitely the silver lining. So.
All right. Awesome. Cool. And we're gonna start off here. Olivia's gonna play us a song. What are you gonna play?
Oh my God, this is like the first show I've done since February.
Amazing. Uh-huh.
I could do a song off the last album. That record's called Salt and Honey, and this song is called Laundry List.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, this is Laundry List.
You've gotten a bad rap. I wanna know what you know and what you think. Your role is birds outside are cracking jokes, but in here I'm trying to lead you to the punch. Through all of this, my laundry list grows longer by the day, and all the goals I might have missed, shots that I didn't take. I'm standing by the door, I'm not ready for it. I'm talking sometimes like taking drugs. No matter what is said, it will never be enough. This intricate ecstasy of mystery and tragedy, it all goes to show that it's still narrowed in the wash. Through all of this, my laundry list grows longer by the day, and all the goals I might have missed, the shots that I didn't take. I'm standing by the door, I'm not ready for it. Are we only now trying to break free of ourselves? Bodies, walls are set, strong though we felt them ourselves. Feel them ourselves. To all of this, my laundry list grows longer by the day, and all the goals I might have missed, shots that I didn't take. All this thinking starts to wear, the carpet's thin in the hall. I'm standing by the door, I'm not ready for it.
Amazing. And that was Laundry List.
That's right.
Awesome.
And I was thinking while I was playing it, this is my bedroom, aka the office these days, and like this is where I wrote the song, and yeah, I get to share it with you from here.
All right. Yeah, sounds good. So wait, so you wrote it, and
I'm the songwriter for the project, so.
no, it sounds good. Well, tell us more about that song. So tell us, Laundry List.
Yeah, I mean, I guess the thought behind that song was just sort of as you get older and it seems like you develop a longer and longer list of sort of gripes against the world and people that have wronged you, and it just starts to feel so heavy, and sort of that song is me trying to let go of some of those feelings that weigh you down. Yeah.
All right, awesome. And like, so you write the music, right? You write the lyrics, and what about the music? You write it?
I'm the songwriter, but I'm really lucky to work with a great group of musicians that contribute a lot and definitely arrange it, and yeah, for sure.
All right, sounds good. But on your first record, did you have is that a the cat just is that a cat or a doggy that just passed by? Sorry.
Sorry, my dog.
hey doggy.
Love. I don't know if you can see her. She's kind of low down here. Here, hang
on.
Oh,
hey buddy.
Mary, you want to say hi?
Hi. All right, awesome. And yeah, so that first record, right? You did that solo, was it, or were you still working with those people, or what's it like?
Yeah, so I actually have a bit of a different group of musicians on the record. The only consistent one is my producer Stu was drumming on both of them. But yeah, we put this out in, I think it was early 2016, so it's like 4 years old now. But yeah, I'm still really proud of it. Golden Armor.
Okay.
A little bit more of an alt rock kind of vibe, I think, than the more recent record. And
all right, sounds good. And yeah, I want to know what it's like to make a record. So you started off, you didn't have like a band or like a music project, right? And then you named it King of Foxes. Why King of Foxes?
Yeah, it's always so tough trying to find a name for a project like that. Discussion will.
Yeah, I can imagine, right? Yeah, because once you said it, you're kind of almost like stuck to it, right? Yeah.
I guess Foxes always resonated with me. I think I liked the idea that they've got this fierceness and fragility at the same time. They're both the hunter and the hunted, and so that was sort of a nice image for me. And I don't know, King of Foxes, I guess, is just the champ of all those foxes. I don't know why, to be honest. It's been a while, but I feel like I'm one with the name now. King of Foxes is.
All right, awesome. All right, cool. And so you sat down and so you said it was like more alt rocky, the first record, right? So is that the style you've always played, do you like playing in different styles? Like, why do you stick with that sound?
Yeah, I think our sound has definitely evolved a little bit from one record to the more recent one. My influences are definitely, like, I grew up kind of with 90s rock and stuff, so I love that sort of like Weezer, Nirvana kind of vibe. That's definitely a lot of my influences come from there. But then again, I'm also like really influenced by Steely Dan and Fleetwood Mac and stuff that's totally not like that. So I feel like little bits of various influences are weaving in different ways. And now that I'm working on the third record, I feel like I don't really worry so much anymore. Like, oh, what genre is this? I'm just kind of writing what comes out and just finding out what those songs need to be of their own accord.
That's awesome. All right, cool. So if it's you writing it, right? Do you have like people you talk to? Do you, like, once you make a song, is it just like this is the song, this is what I made, this is it? Or is it like do you have to like go back and forth with some people? I don't know, some music producers. I don't know what it's like.
That's a good question. It's always tough, like when you write something and half of you wants to be like, well, this is my baby, like I made it this way and I don't want it to change. But like, I think if you're smart about it, like collaborating with people always makes stuff better. I'm really lucky. My partner is a musician as well, so he's usually the first person I bounce a lot of ideas off of, and he's super critical in the best way because it's sort of like a safe space where I feel like I can share stuff and his criticisms, make it better. I'm making him sound like a jerk. He's not a jerk. Yeah, he's kind of my first editor a little bit, and then so my producer Stu Kirkwood definitely adds a lot to these two, so we kind of get together and discuss it, and we'll change it as we go and figure out what arrangement's going to work. And then on top of that, there's the other layer of like then at that point, bringing songs back to the band, back to the people that I play with, and being like, hey, how do we feel about this? How do we play it live? Like, how do we kind of incorporate all these ideas? So it's kind of a multi-step process.
All right, yeah. Do you like playing live more, or do you like playing like in the like recording it, or what's
Those worlds are so different and so
yeah?
amazing in their own way.
Hmm.
You know, like obviously nobody's really been playing live much for the past whatever it is now, 8 months, and I definitely miss it. Like those connections you have with audiences are just like, you know, you go to a concert and there's a magic there that just doesn't happen anywhere else, and I miss that for sure. That said, you know, like I'm really particular about the music I put out, and studio stuff, like it takes us a long time to do it. Like I've only done what is it, 2 records in 5 years or something, but I do like being able to take my time with it and really like make something I'm proud of, you know. So they're very different experiences, live versus the kind of controlled studio world.
That's fun. That's fun. Well, you're not looking at going to play live anytime soon? Like, what's it looking like in Canada? I don't know.
You know, things are opening up a little bit, kind of slowly. Like people are doing some kind of patio shows and stuff. So we'll probably do something like that in the near future. But you know how it is. It's dicey right now.
Yeah, it is very dicey.
Yeah, and we were lucky enough to get invited to do sort of a performance series online recently, and that's actually coming out next week. It's called Alberta Spotlight, and it's
All right, shout out. All right.
sponsored by National Music Centre and CKUK, like a radio station we have here. So that gave us the opportunity to do kind of like a live performance video with the whole band, where we're socially distanced, but get to sort of record it in kind of a performance setting. So that's coming out next week, and I'll have the link in my bio and everything.
All right. Oh, cool. Yeah. We'll link that. Yeah. Send it to me. We'll link it also here.
Awesome.
Perfect. Yeah, sounds good. All right, cool. Yeah, I've been seeing like some people are trying to go back to play like live, and it's like they have like people gathered up in different sections and like big stadiums, and it's like the sort of strangest thing right now. And some people are trying to go more online and play like online more, right? Like you're leaning more towards the online side. Is that because you want to play music? I'm sure, right? So yeah.
I want to play music. You know, when everything sort of first exploded, and I feel like there was this big rush where everyone's like, oh my God, I got to fill the void. I got to live stream. I totally get that. I get the feeling, but I didn't feel that push. Like,
all right, fair.
Like, you know what? Like,
yeah.
Break for a minute. I could take a breath, you know? So we haven't really been worrying about that. And I've just been sticking around home, and it's been like really nice in its own way. Like I definitely, you know, we had a lot of festivals booked this summer, a lot of tours that were all canceled, and that's sad, and I'm sad about it. But at the same time, I really enjoyed like doing some gardening and just resting and enjoying summer, like in my own city for once.
You have a garden? You have a garden?
I have a little vegetable garden out back.
What kind of vegetables do you have?
Well, I got decimated by slugs this year, so I didn't really get to eat a lot of it. I planted some Swiss chard and tomatoes and green beans and stuff.
That's awesome. All right, but you can eat them now because the slugs?
For some reason, the slugs, they ate all the yellow beans, but they left the green beans alone. I don't know, like if there's something wrong with the green beans, but I've been eating them and they taste fine. So thankfully.
All right. And cool. And then writing that first album, right? You had to piece together all those different songs, right? How many do you write a lot of songs and do you filter through, or do you like usually are limited and like you build up songs? I know, because I know some musicians, they write a lot of different songs and then they select their best ones, and some musicians are more like, no, they're very technical, they're building up to their songs. So where do you lie?
I wish I was more prolific than I am. You know, I like Stevie Wonder, who says like you got to write like a song every day and then the best ones. If only I had that kind of time. I work a day job. I have a 5-year-old kid at home too, so like I live a pretty busy life even without music. But I think like with the first album, it was such a long time coming. Like I've been playing music my whole life, but recorded this one. Well, like I was 30, like when my first album came out, right? So, you know, I sort of had a lot of time to build up those songs, and those were kind of like my favorite ones from the years leading up to that. But now, like the most recent album I'm working on is like all new material that I've just been writing like within the past 8 to 10 months or whatever. So it's kind of a different experience. Like it feels really temporal rather than kind of, a backlog of songs that's been waiting to come out. So I feel like this upcoming album will be a lot more sort of like cohesive of this time in my life.
All right. Sounds good. And then, so, all right, you wrote all that, and then let's talk about releasing your first album. What was that like? Yeah.
Sure.
So, yeah, was
I,
it?
I didn't know what
You
the
didn't
heck
know.
I was doing back
Yeah.
then.
Because
So
right then, like you write the songs, right? You know how you have songs, but then what do you do with them?
exactly, yeah. You're just like, okay, here world, here's my album. Like,
Mhm.
what do I do now?
Mhm.
So it's definitely been a learning process as I've gone. I think, in retrospect, obviously you could do things better when you look back and see how you did them in the past.
Mhm.
But I've learned a lot about the music industry in the past 5 years and like met some incredible people. And I just feel like now I sort of know a little bit better how to release a record on my own.
Yeah.
I actually have a little fledgling kind of indie label of my own that I'm starting. So
Okay.
um,
Nice.
yeah,
All right. Sounds good.
around, I kind of, I
Mhm.
have a little bit more of a support system and can sort of get it out there a bit better.
Cool. All right. So yeah, could you, I don't know, give like some, I don't know, advice to like some like young musicians who are like wanting to start out. They have music, they have songs, but they don't know how to like release them and spread them. Like, what are some mistakes people do? What are the right things to do?
Sure.
Yeah.
It's such a big question.
Yeah. I don't know. Yeah. But you
It
did know
depends so
more.
much on what kind of genre they're
Mhm.
working in. And
Okay.
I think like my biggest advice for everybody is just like get close with your community. You know what I
Mhm.
mean? Like find out like who's making music like yours in your community. If you have a music industry association in your state or your province that you can connect with, like those are great people to sort of get on your team. Um, I think like any industry, but like especially music, it's so much about the relationships. Like I don't want to say it's like who you know, but it's the people that you bond with along the way that kind of help you and open doors. And I think that's really important. And above all, like just don't be a jerk, like just be kind to everyone you work with
Yes.
at all times, because that's going to come around and bite you later if you don't have that sort of sense of kindness going through in everything you do.
Perfect. No, awesome. Cool. All right. And so you released it. And then how long between that and like did you start writing for the next one? Because I'm sure you're playing those songs live and you're having fun with them, right? So when do you start? Okay, the next one.
Sure.
Yeah.
It was a crazy time. Like when we released this first record, like I had my son that same year. So I released two big things that year, an album and a baby. That definitely
Uh-huh.
was a challenge, kind of
Yes.
balancing all that. And
Mm-hmm.
so it took me sort of a while to just get my feet back into
Mm-hmm.
the creative world again
Mm-hmm.
after that. And I did find myself, I wasn't writing for a long time and I thought, oh my God, like, is it gone? Have I lost my creativity? But no, I just, I was going through a different phase. And then I feel like all the time you're just kind of those experiences are being processed in the back of your mind and the songs come when they're ready. I read a really good quote from Nick Cave the other day. He has a really awesome social media account, and one of the things he was saying is someone had written into him and they were asking, well, what do you do when the lyrics aren't coming? And in a nutshell, his advice is, well, the lyrics are always coming. Sometimes they're not arriving. And I thought, oh man, that's so right. Like you just have to kind of live your life and trust that those things are working their way through you, I think.
Wow. All right. Wait. So, on that, it's like, do you think like there's just like some blockage? Like some people, if you're just being yourself and doing your own thing, then the music will just come and like lyrics will just come, or I don't know so yeah, about that quote. Yeah, reflect on us some more. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I mean, there are definitely like
Yeah.
exercises and things that can help you when you're feeling stuck. Like I
Mm-hmm.
know one writer called, I believe it's Pat Pattison, has a book called Writing Better Lyrics, and he has a few books out. And he has a lot of exercises that like I return to if I'm feeling stuck. And it sort of, I try not to put pressure on myself to like sit down and just write a song. But if I can sit down and write something, whether that's like object, that's
Mm-hmm.
like he talks about, you kind of take a random object like a bucket or something, and you've got to time it. You've got like 5 minutes to write, and it's just sort of like a free writing style. And you try to be as sense oriented as you can. So like, what does it smell like? What does it feel like? What does it look like? All those kinds of things, and just kind of exercising that muscle in your brain. So I find that helpful sometimes when I'm stuck. And just like not putting pressure on myself, like I said, to create instantly. Like even if I just write a line or two, it's better than nothing, right? And I kind of am okay with just sitting with that.
Amazing. All right. And then all right, so writing your first record, writing your second record, what was more difficult?
Ooh,
What was it?
I think I would say probably the second one was more of a challenge, just because
Okay.
I sort of felt like internal pressure to like, okay, I gotta be better. I gotta be more. I don't know. There's like, I'm a big self-critic.
Uh-huh.
um, and I think too, like just the process for writing that second record, a lot of it we were sort of like writing it as we went. So they weren't even songs that I had really performed yet. Like we were kind of writing them in the studio, and so I didn't really have like a vision at the time of what the end result was going to be. So that was a little bit like the process is kind of scary that way. But I'm so happy with how it turned out. And Stu Kirkwood is just an amazing producer, and I felt like he really honored like the core of those songs and helped me express them in the best possible way. So I'm really happy with the records and for what they are in totally different ways, I guess.
Amazing. All right, cool. All right, sounds good. And so how many musicians are you working with on the second record?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I have a core group of our band can be a 4 or a 5 piece kind of depending on the gig. Sometimes it's just me solo, sometimes
Mm-hmm.
it's with one other guitarist.
Mm-hmm.
I have a core group of guys that I play with, a drummer, a bass player, and my partner plays guitar as well in the band.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
And
All
I
right.
play.
Oh, okay, cool. All right, sounds good. And then yeah, when you guys are playing together, so you're writing the songs, right? And then do you come in and it's like, hey, these are the songs that are written. Let's practice these, or is there do your partners have more like an like music influence? Is there like some part of some song that was like someone gave you a great idea and you went with that, or can you tell us? I don't know. Mm-hmm.
For sure. Like
Yeah.
I love it, when the musicians I play with have input into how the song should sound, because they belong to all of us when we're playing them. Sort of the process I'm doing right now with the new record, I was finding I was sort of getting in this pattern of writing like a verse and a chorus and then just feeling kind of stuck and like, how do I finish this, or how do I sort of bring this forward? So I've been doing more co-writing on this album than I have in the past. Like in the past, it was basically just me and I kind of brought these songs finished. But I'm sort of co-writing these ones with Stu. So like I'll just go into his studio alone and we'll just kind of like hash it out, and he'll help me put it in a demo form so that I have a little bit of inspiration to just kind of like finish that next verse, or they always say the second verse is the hardest. The first verse comes instantly, but it's like, what do you do after that? So I've had a little bit of impetus to help me kind of get the songs done and closer to being ready. So, yeah.
All right. Cool. And then, so all of that, right? You made those 2 records, released them. Let's talk about your live performances. What's the best moment of a live performance, and what's like the worst of a live performance?
Oh gosh, I've had both of those. The best, like, we've played on huge stages at festivals and we've played on tiny stages in little pubs, and it's just every show is different and unique, and I just try to like live in the moment of what it is. I think like one of my favorite shows from last summer, like this couldn't be topped. We got to play this giant festival opening for AJR Brothers. They were amazing, and just the experience of playing on a stage that big was awesome. And it was just like the hottest summer day ever. You guys really get days like that in LA all the time,
yes.
But you get like 4 days a year where it's like 30 degrees and it feels amazing. And so, yeah, that was just one of my favorite memories. I just like sweat dripping down me and just thinking like, this is amazing.
That's amazing. Yeah. Do you remember how big that was? That like how many people were there watching?
Like the biggest stage of one of those huge festival.
All right, cool. All right, that sounds fun. All right, the worst moments, yes.
Like technical difficulty moments. I remember playing this one show at like a little theater festival once, and I think someone had helped me lift my amp on stage and like accidentally knocked out a tube or something at the back, and we didn't realize at the time. So we go to start and there's just like no noise coming out, and I'm just thinking
Oh
like
yeah,
this
what
is
do you
like
do then?
I know this is like my
Yeah,
nightmare, only in my
right.
nightmare I don't have any clothes on or something, you
Uh-huh.
know.
So what do you do? What do you? Yeah.
I think we just kind of did this weird improvised version where I wasn't plugged in, but I was singing anyway, and it was bizarre. But the audience was supportive. It was
There you
okay.
go. Yeah. At the end of the day, it's like the audience, right? Like if the audience has a good vibe, then you can have a fun show. And even if you're like playing the best music, but the audience is not in tune, um, yeah.
Yeah, right. Like you got to have like a feeling of it's back and forth. Like it's not just you putting stuff out. It's a
All right.
synergy.
All right. Cool. 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 And yeah, tell us about this new record. Yeah, you're writing. It's you say it's more about this part of your life now. You mean
Yeah.
COVID times or?
I feel like so many artists are probably going to put out like
COVID albums.
but
Yeah.
you know, it's impossible to avoid. Like you just
Mhm.
sort of end up kind of having to sit with yourself and like marinate on everything that's going on in the world and how
Mhm.
we get into it. And it's definitely like it's a crazy time. I'm half American. I was born in Illinois, but I've been living in Canada since I was 5. So I kind of have like a foot on each half a little bit.
Right. Mhm.
And yeah, it's just a crazy time. Can I just sum it up? I think you'd agree with me.
Yes, for all of us here. It's just yeah, yes.
Yeah, and I think it's just coming across in the music, and I'm just feeling like pretty free and pretty like confident lyrically at the moment, like just having this time to myself to think, and I'm feeling good about that one thing, even if everything else in the world is a little bit crazy right now. So
That's yeah.
it's a relief to come back to, at least, you know.
All right. All right. Sounds good. And do you like write every day, or is it like every once in a while when you feel it, or when or not
I wish I
recently?
was more disciplined. I wish I had time to write every day. It's sort of,
Yeah.
you know, when inspiration strikes, I'll just
When,
be like, oh, here, take the child. I need 15 minutes alone in the basement, and I'll just try and go and get something recorded on my iPhone. I have like probably 100 like little clips of recordings that are just, you know, a little riff here or there, and then I'll forget they're even there, and then I'll have to go back and be like, oh, hey, this was kind of cool, or you know, maybe I should expand on this, and yeah.
all right, cool. And then from that, you like sit down with like your what do you like? How do you like write it? Do you like keys or guitar, or do you write it down? I don't know. How do you? Mhm.
I'm guitar is probably the instrument that I write on the most. Like I'm by no means a virtuosic guitar player. Like it's kind of like the tool that helps me get the song out. But
Yeah.
you know, I'm not doing like flaming solos or anything. But um, I find like a lot of my songwriting inspiration is like how a melody, like the words that come to mind the more I start singing it. And it's sort of like it's almost like the words are already there and I'm just trying to hear them, you know, like and latch on to what they are.
Mhm.
And then I try to figure out, well, why am I thinking this line? Like, what does that mean to me? And then the rest of the song kind of comes out of that.
All
Sort of
right.
an ethereal kind of process, I guess.
I see. And then it just comes out. Then you have it, and then you play it. Right. Oh, okay, cool.
And then I stress about it, and then I think this line's not good, and then I rewrite the whole thing, and then I edit. And I think it was Ernest Hemingway that said, "Write drunk and edit sober."
Is that true? I don't know. Do you like? I don't know.
I
Is
think
it
because like when you're in that creative space,
Mhm.
like, you know, you should just kind of go for it when you're
I
creating
see what
it,
you mean.
whatever and wild, and then
Clean up
later,
afterwards. Yeah.
another stage where you go back and in a more kind of sober mindset, at least you decide what needs to be massaged and what needs to be changed. And, yeah.
All right. Cool. 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 All right, Olivia. Well, um, let's talk about those paintings behind you. I just wanna point this out before we wrap up. What are we looking at here?
Sure, I got a real hodgepodge.
Yeah, I see. There's just so many.
Let's go do a little tour of the paintings there.
Yeah.
Well, my mom is an artist, actually.
Oh.
And she drew this one of the donkeys.
Oh, that's so cool.
He actually drew it for my son, but I stole it from him. He doesn't mind.
Oh, that.
I don't know. I have a few that I picked up on a. Sorry, I'm really bad at.
No, that's good. We're looking at this. Wow. All right. Cool. And
so the
like
one in the middle here.
the middle here. Yeah.
I went to Cuba a few years ago, and there was just an amazing artist out on the street, and he was like painting these, and I wanted to buy everything he had. He was amazing. But I took home 2 of his works, and there's another one over here.
Oh, that one. Let's see it.
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
Very cool.
All right,
and then
cool.
This one in the middle, last one I'll talk about, it's actually a print from a local artist in Edmonton. It's the Grand Budapest Hotel.
Yes, it is the Grand Budapest Hotel.
Yeah, I love it.
Amazing. Oh, I love that movie. I love Wes Anderson. It's so good. All right, cool. And then that's Olivia. What kind of movies do you like?
You know, lately I feel like my attention span must be getting shorter and shorter.
No.
We watch like
What?
so many TV series these days because there's just so much great stuff on like Netflix and Crave these days. So like right now I'm watching.
What are you watching?
Haejl, like it's just dystopian nightmare, but I can't look away.
Uh-huh.
And you know, I got what else have I been watching recently? Oh, we just watched Westworld too. I hadn't seen the new season.
Wow.
Yeah.
Amazing. All right, sounds good. You got to watch more movies.
I do love it. I just feel like these days I tend to want something with a little bit of like continuity to it. And through the COVID season, it's really been sort of keeping us going to have some kind of continuous entertainment.
Okay, talking about attention spans, Olivia. Do you know there's some people that like listen to like half a song like on their Spotify, and then they hit next, and they're like, they just want to hear that new song, and then they hit next. They don't hear the whole song, right? Like people get bored of the song halfway through. What's your
A lot of people aren't album lovers anymore. You know what I mean? Like they're just like all with the singles and stuff, and like there's totally a place for that, but like there's something special about albums, right? Like really like just kind of descending into a world and being taken on a journey that I miss, you know, sometimes with the singles culture today is like really just like you say, short attention span.
Short span, yeah. Not even like one song, like half a song. I know people listen like half a song. They're like, okay, I heard this song next. You know, they just want something new all the time.
At the end, you know, there's like.
That's funny. All right, well, Olivia, we're out of time here, but it was much pleasure to meet you. Much pleasure. It was so great hearing your song. Laundry List, King of Foxes. You can check him out. Link in the description. They have a show. They're playing live. You can also check that out in the description, right? And then sounds good. And then what else, Olivia? Is there anything else you want to shout out? Anything else you want to say?
I just want to say thank you so much, Ali, for having me on. It was a pleasure getting to chat with you.
Pleasure.
And just sending lots of virtual love to all the other musicians out there who are listening to this right now. And we're going to make it. We're going to get through this. So sending you a virtual hug. Amazing. All right. Pleasure. All right. And this is how we sign out here on the show. Let's salute to the cover of the camera, and we're out.